Man, sports. Sports is truly a fascinating thing. You never know what's gonna happen in sports. Anything can happen and anything can just sway the momentum and all of a sudden a situation you thought was gonna go one way goes another way. And you may look at a situation and think, man, it's over. But it's never over until it's over. 48 hours ago, I watched the Miami Heat at home in a game six. They were up 103-102. There was 3 seconds left. They were one defensive stop away from winning at home and advancing to the NBA Finals. Marcus Smart shoots the three. It's no good. Derek White drives to the basket, was able to get the rebound, and just tips it back in for a game-winning layup. I was completely crushed. I came here and made a video regarding that. Hell, before I even made the video, when I saw Derek White hit that game winner, I spazzed out, man. I spazzed out. I just saw nothing but red. I spazzed out because I couldn't believe that happened. And then after I calmed down, I just went into my room and I just sat in darkness and in silence for like 5 minutes because I couldn't believe it. I was just shattered as a fan. How could you be this close to the finals and then just lose it like that? I remember sitting there thinking to myself, man, this is what the Spurs must have felt like in 2013. You had it right there and you just lose it. It's crazy, man. It's really crazy. So with Game 7 heading to Boston, I really didn't know what to think. My mind was clouded. But the difference in 48 hours just really showcases itself, man. Because I woke up this morning and I felt very optimistic. Originally, I wasn't going to live stream Game 7. But for some reason, I woke up feeling very optimistic, saying you never know how this series is going to go. When it's Miami and Boston, anything can happen. It could be a game that comes down to the wire. We might get blown out in Boston, or they might blow us out. We just don't know how things are going to go. But a Game 7 is chaotic when it comes to the Heat and Celtics, and it can go any way. So, you know what? At the end of the day, let me fall on my shield. Let me go out with my team. If we were going to lose that game, I wanted to be there for it. But man, I just felt very optimistic heading into Game 7. So when I started the live stream, I was just ready to go. And I was just in business mode. I was all over Twitter just saying, stay focused. It's not enough. Stay focused. Keep executing. We have to have a business mentality. We're not going there to fight for our lives. We're going there to handle business. And then when we're finished business, we're taking that flight directly to Denver for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. So I had that mentality, and the team had that mentality all for Game 7. And man, what happened in Game 7 was just incredible, man. The Miami Heat from the get-go, they just weren't playing around. They were a little slow to start things off, but once they took the lead and got it going, Miami never lost the lead after that. They just continued to play their brand of basketball. They were being physical all night, and the refs were letting them have it. The free throw attempts in this game wasn't even a lot. I mean, if you look at it, the free throws wasn't even that much, and it wasn't like it was favoring one side entirely. I don't think either team shot a lot of free throws for the most part. Miami had 6 free throws and the Celtics had 13. So there wasn't a lot of whistles that was being called tonight because they were letting them be physical. It's Game 7. Let these guys be physical. But what a game this was. Miami never took their foot off the gas pedal once they took the lead, and they blew these guys out 103-84 to advance to the NBA Finals. Jimmy Butler, 28 points. He didn't shoot the best tonight, but man, did he do what he needed to do. Caleb Martin, who low-key was the MVP of this series. 26 points tonight. 12 points for Bam, but some of those came in garbage time, low-key. Vincent with 10 points. 10 points from Duncan Robinson. Everyone was just contributing out there for the most part. Meanwhile, you look at this, man. Tatum had 14. 18 for Derek White, who low-key looked like the best player on the court. 19 for Jaylen Brown, who actually was the worst player on the court, or the worst starter on the court, because he could not stop turning the ball over. He had 8 turnovers. He was costing his team down the stretch. And Tatum in this game, he only took 13 shots. Now, a big thing that needs to be brought up, and it's got to be brought up for both guys. A big thing that needs to be brought up is, one, Tatum, early in the game, he tweaked his ankle. And he was never right once he tweaked his ankle. You could tell he was physically in pain. So he tweaked his ankle, and he just never was right for the rest of the game. But I do have to be fair, on the other side, Jimmy Butler also tweaked his ankle in this game. And you could see him physically grimming with pain. So both superstars were dealing with ankle injuries. And I'm pretty sure the injury that Jimmy tweaked it on was the same ankle he already tweaked in the second round. So he was dealing with pain, and Tatum was dealing with pain. And both of them were visibly limping on the court. So at the end of the day, it's unfortunate, but you just got to play. And shout out to Tatum for being a warrior. I know people are going to kill him because he only had, 13 points and he didn't shoot well from the field. But Tatum went out there and played his heart out and did whatever he could to help this team win. Now, maybe he should have taken more shots. I'll give you that. Maybe he should have taken more shots because he took 13 and Jaylen Brown took 23. I want 5 of those, or at least maybe not even 5. 7 of those shots should have gone to Tatum. I just felt Tatum should have been more aggressive at times, but I understood that the man was seriously hurt. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But man, I didn't see this coming, man. I didn't see this coming. I did not expect the Miami Heat to come out here and blow these guys out in the Game 7. I'm watching them maintain this lead throughout the entire, from the second quarter to the third quarter to the fourth quarter. And I just keep saying in the live stream, don't get excited. Keep that same focus. It's not enough. You have to close them out. And I just couldn't get emotional until I saw that buzzer hit 0. And I just, once that happened, man, I was just emotional after that, man. Just, if you're a Heat fan, you understand that this means the world to you. Last year, we were the number 1 seeded team in the Eastern Conference. We got all the way up to the Eastern Conference Finals with home court advantage. We met the 2-seeded Boston Celtics, and we went to 7, man. We lost the game 5 at home that we should have lost. But in games 4 and 5, Jimmy suffered a knee injury. Tyler Hero ended up getting injured. He was out of the series down the stretch. So we end up losing games 4 and game 5. We go to Boston for a game 6. You get a Jimmy Butler masterclass in game 6 to force a game 7. And we have game 7 in our house. Game 7, Boston's controlling the pace, but Miami goes on a crazy run within the final 2 minutes. Jimmy Butler with the ball in his hands. We're in under 20 seconds on the clock. Jimmy goes down the court. He takes a 3 to take the lead and potentially win us the game. Because if he makes that shot, chances are Boston's going to call timeout, and Miami's just going to need to make one defensive play. And with the way that team played defense last year, that probably wasn't going to go in. And with the way the Celtics just went cold from the field in the final 2 minutes, they probably would have made a mistake. So Jimmy Butler goes for the 3 to take the lead. He misses it. Ultimately, we lose, and the Celtics advance to the NBA Finals. Right after that game, in the press conference, Jimmy Butler sat back and talked about that and how we had an opportunity, but we just weren't able to capitalize. But we do have enough. We have enough to get to the finals and win a championship. We didn't get it done this year, but next year we'll be right back in this situation, and this time we're going to get it done. And you don't understand how much that means the world to fans when a player says that. When a player says that and then proceeds to go out there and do it, it means the world. Jimmy said the Heat would be in that same situation, and they will get it done. And a year later, we're in that exact same situation, Game 7, and we got it done, and we're heading to the finals. That means the world to fans. Jimmy delivered on his promise. The Heat delivered on what they believed they could do. And it's crazy to sit back and think about this. And I feel like I got to make a video about this just before the final starts. But it's crazy to see what Miami has been able to do throughout this postseason. Because just a month ago, maybe a little bit over a month ago, many of us were sitting there and thinking, man, I'm not sure we want to see these guys in the playoffs. I remember I thought they could do something in the postseason. Despite everything that happened in the regular season, I thought, hey, you take on the Atlanta Hawks, take on the Boston Celtics in the first round. I think they can go 7 games. You have a chance to beat them. That was my mindset. Because I understood in the regular season, we dealt with a bunch of injuries. And that was a big part of why we were just losing games and at the bottom of the conference. We were just dealing with so many injuries throughout the regular season. And down the stretch, we started to get healthy and we didn't win games we needed to win. But overall, we were not healthy for much of the season. So I believe that the team can get healthy at the right time. With the pieces in the core you have, they're similar to last year. We have a chance to surprise some teams and potentially go on a run. And if you can beat the Boston Celtics, there's a path to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I believe that was the case. But then we saw how they played against the Atlanta Hawks. And that kind of changed my perspective and everyone else's perspective for the most part. I sat back and said, you know what? If this is how Miami is going to play, we might as well miss the playoffs and take the lottery pick. Because I don't want to see a Miami Heat team play like this and go get swept against the Bucks. The Bucks would never let us live this down. I didn't want to take on the Bucks in the first round because I didn't want this team to get swept by the Bucks. And all of a sudden everyone's like, yeah, last year was another fluke too. I didn't want to deal with that. But you have to understand, and every Heat fan understands this, the way the Heat were playing in the play-in tournament And towards the end of the regular season, they did not look like the way they've looked in this postseason. And that was the biggest surprise. That was the biggest surprise. So I saw them play like that against the Hawks and say, you know what? If this is how you guys want to play basketball, don't bother showing up for the playoffs, because we don't want to see you guys go out there, play like this, and get beat by the Bucks and get swept. That would be disgusting. Then the game happens against Chicago, and they're still not playing well. And I'm like, is this the team that's really going to go to the playoffs? Can we show some heart? With 3 minutes left, something clicked with the Miami Heat. And they found a way to win that game. And since that moment when something clicked, we've been in this whole run. When Giannis went down with the injury, we won game 1. I made a video saying, yo, if Giannis misses significant time, we have a shot to win this series. If Giannis comes back, this could go to 7. So I said, with Giannis out, we have a legitimate shot to beat this team. And I believe if Giannis was out for the rest of the series, Miami would have beaten them. With Giannis there, I thought it would go 7. But somehow they beat him when Giannis came back too. The only win Milwaukee got was without Giannis in game 2, where they made a record 25 threes, a franchise record 25 threes for them. So once we saw that happen, once we saw them beat the Milwaukee Bucks, I sat back and said, Miami's engaged. This is the Heat team I wanted to see all season. This is the Heat team we saw last year when they were the number 1 seed. If they play like this, they can get to the finals. You get to the second round against the Knicks, Jimmy tweaks his ankle, and I'm getting concerned because I'm like, all right, these other guys got to show up. And the other guys do show up in that series, and they help Jimmy, and we win in 6. And I'm like, here we go. We got the Boston Celtics. I got the Heat in 7, and I didn't expect it to go this way. I didn't think this is the way we went to 7 was going to be that way. I thought it was going to be similar to last year. We win 1, they win 1. We win 1, they win 1. But instead, we win 3, we lose 3, and then we win game 7. It's a crazy ride, and I feel like I got to talk more about that in another video, but it's been such a crazy ride. Congratulations to the Miami Heat for advancing to the NBA Finals. I couldn't be more proud, man. I couldn't be more proud of this team. For them to be engaged for 48 minutes and handle their business to make sure they're not the first team in NBA history to choke away a 3-0 lead, I'm so proud of them. I'm so proud of them. And they're going to have a chance against a tough Denver Nuggets team. Jokic looks like the best player in basketball. Jamal Murray has arrived and has shown himself as one of the best players in the game, at least the way he's playing right now. Jamal Murray at least showed us that what happened in the bubble wasn't a fluke. He's that guy right now. So Jamal and Nikola Jokic, they're going to be a terrifying duo to deal with in the finals. But if there's any team that has a shot to be able to beat these guys, it would be the Miami Heat. Because they've never cared what others have had to say for them. And the way they've played basketball and the way they've fought all the way to the finals, that will help them. They're going to have a chance to win this championship. And we'll see if they can pull it off. But, we'll see what happens with that. As for the Boston Celtics, you almost pulled off the comeback. You had a chance at home. You weren't able to get it done. Shout out to you guys, man, because people are going to completely cook you guys and troll you guys because you were down 0-3 to this team. And maybe if you would have played like that, if you would have played games 1, 2, and 3 the way you played games 4, 5, and 6, you would have beat this team. They're going to roast you guys for that. And for getting blown out of home, they're going to roast you guys for that. We know the whole story. But honestly, shout out to you guys. You guys are a hell of a competitor, a hell of a team. Whenever you meet up with Miami in the playoffs, it's always a battle. 3 Eastern Conference Finals battles in the last 4 years. You guys are definitely a worthy rival. I respect the hell out of you guys for the way you play. I don't know what you guys are going to do with Tatum and Brown. I don't know if this is the end of that duo. I don't know what's going to happen with Boston, but I wish you guys the best of luck. And low-key, I hope that we don't meet in the conference finals next year. I don't care who's in the conference finals, man. I would love for it to be the Miami Heat. I would love it to be Heat Bucks or Heat Sixers. Or if the Heat are not there, let it be Celtics Bucks or Celtics Sixers. Or maybe even another surprise team. Maybe the Knicks get to the conference finals. Just please do not let the Eastern Conference Finals be Heat Celtics. I can't take another year of this because I know it's going to be another 7 games of torture. But yeah, shout out to the Celtics. Wish you guys the best of luck in the offseason. I don't know what's going to happen with Mazzulla. I don't know what's going to happen with Jaylen Brown. I don't know what's going to happen with that whole situation. But I wish you guys the best of luck. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say, guys. Miami's going to the NBA Finals. I don't know what else to say. I don't want to cry on camera, but I don't know what else. Well, I already did cry on camera when I was live streaming, but I don't want to cry in this video. Well, I wasn't crying. I was in tears, You know how it is when you get emotional and them tears start coming out, but you ain't crying. You're overwhelmed with joy. That's just what I was dealing with at the time. So we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, Miami's in the finals, and they'll take on Denver in Game 1 Thursday. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got, and I'm out of here, man. Peace.